Hi, everyone. Welcome to HeyGen's today's session. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Chloe.
Hi, my name is Chloe. I'm from the HeyGen team, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan, our head of sales at HeyGen. Ryan, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hello everyone. Great to see everybody. Today's webinar is going to be focused on interactive avatar, and Chloe's going to walk us through a sample app, I believe, and talk a bit more about interactive avatar. If as a kind of disclaimer, if you're not interested in interactive avatar, this probably is not the webinar for you. We are going to go deep into interactive avatar. I believe this might be the first interactive avatar webinar that we've had ever, if not ever, in a while. So thank you to Chloe for hosting today. Back over to you, Chloe.
Absolutely. So the main agenda today is to give you a demo of how to use HeyGen's interactive avatar to create a real-time AI-driven avatars for your business. And so as a quick agenda, we will walk through first, what is HeyGen's interactive avatar? What features it contains, and secondly, how many ways you can integrate with our interactive avatar. I will also give you a technical walkthrough of how to integrate with our streaming API using LiveKit with the sample web applications. We'll talk about a few use cases and business value that it comes along.
Sweet.
If that sounds all right.
Let's do it, Chloe.
Can everyone see my screen okay? Should be. So here, just to give you a high-level intro of how you can find the interactive avatar. To get started, you would go to the labs HeyGens.com, and from here you can find a list of public avatar that we have trained and built that you can leverage out of the box. For instance, you can come here and you can start using this avatar and start leveraging it to build an interactive chat. You can choose the language that you want your audience to understand and interact with. We also have a features called knowledge base, where you can build basically the knowledge base, that the prompt that you want your AI avatar to leverage.
Sweet, Chloe. So those are all interactive avatars that HeyGen has pre-created. Yes. Both the actual avatar, like for example, this one, this doctor, and then we also pre-created a medical / doctor knowledge base. That's fair to say, right? And then we have like 50 of them or so.
Exactly. I think we have more than 50 or so, like 70 something. But the list continues to grow. And those are the relatively high quality avatar that have pre-built and trained. You can select and customize the database, the knowledge base you wanted to integrate it, and the language, and that's it.
Sweet. Yeah. I always think about interactive avatar in two different big chunks. One is the face, and so that's HeyGen. We provide the avatar, which could be you or a colleague or one of our public avatars, or somebody that you contract with. So there's the face and the voice. That's HeyGen. Yes. And then there's the brain, like kind of the knowledge base, as we call it, behind.
Exactly.
A lot of times when I'm working with customers, they're always asking me about those two big components. So I'm sure we'll touch on both of those today.
Yeah. So if I click on chat now, it can actually give it 2 seconds to connect. You can see that it can take in audio input or text input. But I will give you a more illustration later on. And regarding knowledge base, you can edit the current knowledge base. Basically, you would name the knowledge base and then you give it an opening intro. You can also give a very detailed, comprehensive prompts as you would to give it to your LLM model, essentially. And you can also link to any external contextual information that you want your avatar to interact with your audience. And we also give a full list of tips on how you can basically write a proper prompt for your interactive avatar for a better outcome. Does this sound all right?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yes. So, and here we also provide the ability for you to customize and build your own interactive avatar. And how to create it is you would to give agents a 2-minute.
Want to create an interactive avatar with HeyGen? Here's how to film it right. Choose your background.
You would give HeyGen a 2 minutes video footage to train the interactive avatar, so you can use it later on for your application. So you can think about different use cases that you come along. For example, you can build your AI avatar for your internal training, for employees compliance training, or you can have it to streamlining your interview process, or you can have it like as an external interactive customer support who runs 24/7, and that making sure that your customer has the most of the support. You can also have it built an avatar to make your salesperson's life easier, and you can also build an avatar to as the internal enablement. For example, we're going to demonstrate how you can use this avatar to give you some knowledge about interactive avatar. And here's how you can create different kinds of knowledge base, which we have touched over. And to give you a high level of how to integrate, HeyGen offer 3 ways to integrate. Basically allows you to, if you don't have any coding experience, you can basically share the pre-built avatar as a link, and allows your user to directly leverage that interactive avatar out of your workflow, or just link it in your email. Whatever that you see fits allows your user to interact. We also provide, I would say, low-code approach, allows you to, for example, allows you to embed this code snippet into your front-end HTML page, and so your user can directly interact with that, and that would be a more embedded and customized experience for your external-facing web application. And today, we're going to walk through the most native way of integrated with HeyGen Streaming API, which is using the Streaming API using LiveKit SDK. Do you have any question at all, Ryan?
Doesn't look like there's any questions in the chat yet.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Let me switch over and share to my another screen. And we can always save the Q&A at the end, making sure that everyone's question is addressed. Can you see the screen, Ryan?
Yep.
So just to give you like how it looks like to embed HeyGen's Streaming API into your web application. Here I have a sample web application that I'm running on localhost 3000, and this is basically the sample code that I leverage out of our product docs. So I have a very simple user interface here, mainly just to demonstrate different use cases. I have different text field where I can choose the avatar ID, which in this case, it's a public avatar from HeyGen called Wayne, and the date. And I can choose the voice ID that I want the interactive avatar to speak in. And here I have 2 tasks type, which is talks or repeat. Talk would be basically you will get this AI avatar a prompt, and he will respond to you dynamically in real time based on the large language model that we're building behind the scene. which is ChatGPT. Or if you want to use your custom LLM solution, you can simply generate your response from the LLM and then basically repeat the text using this function. So to start the session, I will click the Start button, and you'll see that it's starting to call HeyGen's API.
Hello, how can I help?
It's this is basically a log to see like what other audits of the session. Step 1 will be getting the session token from HeyGen's API, and please know that one access token is needed per session, and at maximum you can have, I think for enterprise plan, you can have up to 100 sessions running concurrently at HeyGen. And since this avatar is built out on top of the knowledge base of interactive avatar, I would ask him about any knowledge that he can give me about interactive avatar and start talking.
Oh, sure. HeyGen's interactive avatar is a virtual character that can engage in real-time conversations. It's super useful for education, support, and even medical training. Want to know how to create one?
So I'll keep following this prompt.
You can create your interactive avatar by visiting the HeyGen labs and clicking the New Avatar button. It's pretty simple. Have you thought about what kind of avatar you want?
So basically, you can your user can start talking to this interactive avatar, and it will give you a real-time instance response, so that it's really increased the level of engagement. And to give you another example, it would be the similar concepts by using a different avatar mainly for customer support.
Hello, how can I help you?
So in this case, I would like to ask, tell me how can support customers if they have any questions.
HeyGen provides support to customers in several ways. 1. Comprehensive Help Center. HeyGen has a detailed help center that includes FAQs, guides, and articles covering various topics related to their products, including interactive avatars, API plans, and troubleshooting tips. 2. Customer Support Team. Users can reach out to the HeyGen customer support team via email at support@heygen.com for personalized assistance with their inquiries, issues, or technical support. 3. Guidance and resources. HeyGen offers step-by-step guides and tutorials to help users understand how to use their features effectively, including how to create and customize avatars, integrate them into platforms like Zoom, and manage API usage. 4. Community and documentation. Users can access documentation and community resources that provide insights and tips from other users, enhancing the overall experience with the platform. 5. Feedback and improvement. HeyGen encourages users to report any bugs or issues they encounter, allowing the engineering team to address these problems and improve the platform continually. These support avenues ensure that customers have the resources and assistance they need for a smooth experience with HeyGen's products.
How does it sound to you, Ryan?
Yeah, it sounds good.
So if I want, I can also customize this interactive avatar by swapping out the voice. In this case, I'm putting a public voice ID that I can get from HeyGen.
Hello, what can I do for you?
But that sounds weird because he's talking basically in a female voice, just to give you an illustration. So next,
Well,
Yes.
Chloe, there's a ton of questions coming in.
Yeah.
You wanna give like a couple more minutes and we can start answering some questions?
Yeah, let me wrap things out by just quickly walk through how they can spin it up to this web application in less than 30 minutes. But let me share my screen. Stop sharing. So this is a simple page, single page web application that I built out leveraging HeyGen's current documentation. And what you really need is to inject the scripts that tells it to use the LiveKit client SDK. And there are really just like few steps where you can put this all together. Step one would always be like configuring the API keys, and which I will rotate later. And this is the base URL which you can use basically to call any APIs from HeyGen, and declare a few global variables to store the session information, the room objects, and the WebSocket communications. Down here, you can see different elements where you would allows your front end to render. And those are just helper functions that I wrote just for this demonstration. The core function to create an interactive avatar would be involving 4 steps, basically. Create a new session with HeyGen's API, basically calling this endpoint to start a new streaming session with an access token. And step 2 is to call the start streaming session to start the current session that you just created by basically composing this request body and connect to the LiveKit room that you just initiated. And step 3 would be sending the test type to the avatar by specifying the detail of the task in the request body. And step 3 is basically when you want to close the sessions. If you don't close the session within 10 minutes, it will become inactive, and you'll be closed automatically, basically. And down here are just event listener for the front end elements to listen for any trigger events. I think that's it.
Okay, let's go over to Q&A. We've got 8 minutes and there's about 25 questions that came in. So I'm going to try to lump in or categorize questions. This is a big one that's hot today. We got 3 or 4 questions that ask kind of similar topics, but I also hear all the time when working with customers.
Mm-hmm.
It's around the knowledge base. Specifically, like how do you set up a knowledge base to be more customized to your own customers? So like here's a sample question,
Mm-hmm.
or a question from the audience. One is, can you link a website for a knowledge base? And yes, you can.
Yes,
But
you can.
another one coming from Mohammed is, can the knowledge base include a user's data points stored in the customer, in this case, in the customer's database? Different users will have different data.
Can you repeat the question again?
So can you have a dynamic knowledge base?
I think that will require some custom solution that you'll build on your end.
Yeah, so each individual session.
Yeah, so each individual user will have its unique session that tie into the custom LLM that you have behind the scene. And if you want to integrate with your custom LLM, you can basically just generate the response based on your LLM, and then using that text response, feed it into HeyGen's API using the repeat tasks, if that makes sense.
And on the task repeat,
Yeah.
Does the avatar support SSML?
SSML. Let me go over this.
That is speech synthesis markup language. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not that I aware.
Okay, from Yannick, can you talk a bit about the SDK? How hard is it to get the video output working?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
There's a couple questions while I pull that up around pricing. We can go over that at the end. One is around concurrent sessions. So the scale plan has 20 concurrent sessions, while the enterprise plan has 100.
Yes. So you can refer to all our API documentation, SDK documentation here at docs.heygen.com. What I just demonstrate you is using the native API integration using LiveKit. And this is basically the steps that you would follow. And I basically just leverage the sample code down here. For SDK, you can go to our GitHub repo and start leveraging that. We currently support JavaScript SDK, but obviously we're always looking to improve and expand our tech stacks to support more languages and more environment that you have. We have two demo, we have two demo that leverage SDK. One is the Next.js demo app, and it looks like this. I can probably run it on my local host, but for the time being, we can save it for next time. We also have one for PyCat, which, let me stop. Oh, I just realized you cannot see me switch to another screen. This is the PyCat demo app that we built leveraging our SDK. Here you can also see another app that using our SDK and it's written in Next JavaScript framework. Does that answer your questions?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's quite a few questions around voice. I can touch on voice here. Let's see. Okay, so the key to switching the voices or controlling the voices is getting the right voice ID. And so inside the HeyGen web app, you can go to AI voice on the left side panel, and this is where you'll be able to control the voice ID that you want. So similar to the avatars, we have both custom. So these are voice clones that I created. And then we also have a HeyGen library or a publicly available library. And there's a couple of specific questions here around. So you can control the tone, whether you want it to be serious, excited, angry, etc. So you can do that within the HeyGen web app. So if we're going to go from original to, let's say, angry, you now have the voice ID you can paste into your prompt that will be able to help you out with control of the voice. There was another one around voice consistency. Let's see, what was our interactive avatar keeps shifting accents. Is there a setting to select one voice/accent consistently? That does come back to selecting the right voice clone. If it's switching between accents, then I don't think that. I mean, that certainly should not be the case. So if you want to reach out to support at HeyGen and share the session ID or the voice ID, I should say, we can look into why it would be switching accents. That's coming from Sean. Let's see, maybe the last one here. We can go over pricing. I'll take this one, Chloe.
Yep.
Okay, so if you go to HeyGen/pricing, or go to the pricing page here, this is actually our pricing for the web app plans. And looks like we might have recently oh yeah, here's so if you scroll down and go explore our API pricing, or you go /API-pricing, it'll bring you to the page. And so here are the three paid plans. There's the Pro plan. I want to talk about credits, what that means here in a second. So there's Pro, Scale, and Enterprise. This is the important bit here, is that 5 minutes of interactive avatar streaming equals 1 credit. So in this case, you pay $100 a month for 500 minutes of interactive avatar streaming, 500 minutes of the speaking session, which is equivalent to 100 credits. So the credit conversion is listed down here at the bottom. And then for the Scale plan, $330 for 660 times 5. That is 3,300 minutes of the avatar speaking. And then in the Enterprise, it is custom. So what I typically recommend for customers to do is to get started in the Pro or Scale plan, get an MVP out, and then if you want to reach Scale, meaning you need additional concurrency and you need additional credits, then come talk to us and we'll do some custom plans for you on the Enterprise side. We always, when people come to the Enterprise side and they haven't created a Pro or Scale plan, they haven't tested HeyGen, we always recommend them to go and do that first, just to make sure that you can get an MVP up and running. And then when you do reach Scale, we're happy to talk. Let's see. There's a few more questions. I know we're at time here. Let's end it there. Thank you for taking the time to walk us through. And again, if you have specific questions that are support related, you need to answer back, feel free to reach out to support@heygen.com. The support team does a really good job of getting back to customers, and they are trained really well on the HeyGen interactive avatar. By the way, this is Chloe's 4th week, 1 month in at HeyGen. She's already doing live. 3rd week. All right, so you're already surpassing timeline. So round of applause for Chloe. Nice job, Chloe.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll wrap it up there. Hope you enjoy your rest of your Monday and have a great week.
Thanks, everyone.